Hey everyone, today I'm creating these gorgeous cards using some new products from Spellbinders. So I'm using the Brilliant Butterflies collection from Hurley. You get 6 different butterflies that are quite detailed, as well as a shadow that you can use to use lots of different techniques. I'm going to be using white card bases. I've got some bright pink shimmer cardstock, some specialty linen paper, and some vellum. At this stage, I only knew I wanted to use 2 of the butterflies, and I was a bit worried that if they were too big, they would overpower the card. So I've just picked these 2, which is the smallest and then the third smallest, because I think the style of the butterfly also goes together. Here's a closer look at the shadow as well as the detailed die, and this is the sentiment set I chose to use today. It is called Thanks Enclosed, and it's part of the 4 Petals collection. There was quite a bit of prep work required for this card design, and a huge shout out to my 14-year-old niece who very patiently helped me run all of these through my die machine. We actually worked together to figure out our favorite color combination of the butterflies and the sentiment, and I'll show you that later in the video, so a big thanks again. In terms of elements, we've got standard A2 white card bases, which are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We've then got a pink cardstock matting layer, which is 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. We then have the linen paper, which is 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. And then I've used vellum for the backing layer of the butterflies. And there is a combination for the butterflies themselves. Some of it is mirror paper or mirror cardstock, and some of it is shimmer. So you'll see here as I'm laying these out, I'm really trying to figure out what is a good combination. I did try and avoid using the exact same cardstock as that pink layer at the back because I really wanted something to contrast. And initially we were doing the shimmer paper, so the big butterfly on the left-hand side, and we thought that would look fantastic. However, it wasn't as, I guess, bright as we were expecting. It almost looked a little bit subtle and a little bit almost like craft. And we were going for something with a little bit more bling this time, which is not normally how I roll. But you can see here I'm matching up the different combinations of butterflies so that we've got some of the really bright gold mirror ones with the subtle pink, and then we've got 2 combinations of the gold. I went through all of the butterflies and paired them off before I started creating any of the cards because I didn't want to get to the end and find I had 2 of the same color butterfly, because it was important to me that I had a contrast on every single one of the cards, even though I will freely admit that there is one combination that is my favorite. I don't know if you can tell when you're looking at these 4, and maybe put a comment below. Have you got an early guess as to which one was our favorite? I will say one of the other benefits of having a helper is we only have one little leftover butterfly there. We counted the number of sentiments, we counted the number of butterflies, and the only reason that we have one extra is because there was a tiny little bit of mirror gold cardstock left, and it seemed a shame not to just cut one extra butterfly. So I do not have a big leftover stash that I'm going to use up on different projects, so this is a different approach for me this time. All right, now in terms of creating the cards themselves, I've done all of the layering, so I've put the pink behind, and I'm now using my Belly Art glue with the precision point to attach the sentiments. They are really quite small sentiments, so I did have to be a little bit careful not to overload them. And when I'm adding the butterflies here, you'll notice that I'm just putting glue straight down the middle. That's because that's the only place that I can be 100% sure that the glue won't show through, because that's where the main body of the butterfly is going to be every single time, even with the designs being slightly different on the medium and the small butterfly. I then just put a little bit of glue again straight down the middle and then line it up with the outline. I have tried to make sure that both of the butterflies fall off the edge of this feature panel. So you can see there that the top left tip of the butterfly is actually off to the edge. I by no means lined these all up in the same place. I attached the sentiment first, and then I put one to the right and one to the top left. But other than that, I made sure they were angled and slightly different angles on both of them, and then I moved on. So this putting together of each of the cards was actually pretty fun and moved quite quickly. I would say this is one of the pieces that was true production style. And honestly, there's a little bit of discomfort about just grabbing the vellum, chucking it on a card and hoping for the best. But honestly, it was such a simple layout with just the 2 elements that I figured it was pretty hard to go wrong, and whoever received the card was really going to enjoy it anyway. They're not going to realize if it was off by a little bit compared to all the others that I created at the same time. If you're enjoying the video, it would be amazing if you could please hit the like button. That's how YouTube knows to share it with more viewers. By the way, I've also put links to everything I used in the description box below. So if there's anything you're looking for, if I wasn't clear about what the sets were that I was using, then you can get that information down below. The final step is to align the panels in the middle of the white card bases. I've tried different techniques to do this. Sometimes I try and use the grid mat, so there is a perfect A2 horizontal and vertical outline in the middle of my grid mat. But generally I find it's easier if I just eyeball it. So I just hold it up on an angle so I've got clear line of sight, and then I sort of hover it over a little bit and then I press it down and finalize the card. By the way, if you're wondering which is our favorite, it's the one at the top right now. So it's the mirror gold with the shimmery pale pink and the black sentiment. That is the combination that we created after trying a few alternatives. I do like the others, and my niece really liked the ones that had a more subtle sentiment color. So rather than the stark black, maybe the ones with the pink, but I don't know, I'll leave it up to you. I've put a link here to a playlist with all of my videos using Spellbinders products. So if you love Spellbinders and you're interested in seeing some more, then you can check it out. Have a great day.